peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
People first, Stephen, isn't it? Is Wesonga nearby now?
Action.
Very much. Viewers, sorry for this short interruption due to our satellite connections of taking one image to the other. Thank you very much, SBSC station, which is beaming our discussion all over the whole world. Thank you very much. And we go back to Kidi.
Yes.
You had your points, you are making your points. Make them quickly, and let's tell our viewers, we have no intention at all to block anybody. And Mr. Juma Smith, I'll never block you. But I want you to learn that if you have any grievances, put them nicely. You don't call everything fake. Even when Cameroon money was taken, it is fake. Surely, Cameroon and Emerald money was fake. So, Kidi, take it away from there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ali. I was making my point on the containment of William Ruto, as one of the papers has pointed out. And I want to bring it to the attention of Kenyans that the president is not ready and willing to use the instruments of violence bestowed on the state, and by default on him as the head of state, to contain political opponents. However, William Ruto shall be contained politically and ideologically by the ordinary people of Kenya like yours truly and other millions out there who feel and think and believe that his hustler narrative is nothing but nonsense upon stilts, because one, it seeks to divide us, two, it seeks to exploit fears among the populace, and three, it seeks to exacerbate differences among the people of Kenya. We've seen this hustler narrative has emboldened criminal elements in the society. The day before yesterday, a friend of mine in Upper Hill was engaged in altercations. She was attacked, our lady, who was attacked by people who classified her as a dynasty while she was sitting in a restaurant and talking to her friends. And she was being told that they would know who the true people of Kenya are. That today in this country, even a poor person like yours truly, if you are in a public space and you act or viewed like you have money, that in itself is a reason enough to put your life on the line. That is a toxic political narrative that we cannot let to prevail. Edmund Beck, a thinker and a writer in Enlightenment period in the Europe, said that what the necessary thing needed for evil to thrive is for good men to do nothing. I think in this day and age, the young people of this country, people who are beneficiaries of Kibakinomics. Kibakinomics was investment in education, which means that today, this country with a 70% young population, that young population is also educated. And that young population is not prone to manipulation peddled by William Ruto and company. That young population is going to step up and stand up to this divisive narrative run by William Ruto and company. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kidi. And thank you very much for that contribution. Now, I come to Professor Gerard Onyari. Professor, you are the man of the soil. You are the man who soothes our hearts, who gives us hope, who preaches to Annas and the Caiaphas, the doubting priests of those good days of Jerusalem. Can you tell us, where are we heading? BBI is here. Is a redemption strategy to bring peace. Uhuru Kenyatta wants to bring peace to this country. Uhuru Kenyatta wants a united country. Uhuru Kenyatta wants his legacy. He wants to defend his legacy. He wants a free and a fair, non-violent elections. Not the type of elections that we saw across the bridge, where each man is for himself and God is for all of us. Not the type of elections where opponents start inciting people to fight on tribal or ethnicity. That is the legacy Uhuru Kenyatta is looking. Are you not, as Kenyans, I'm speaking independently, as a global citizen, are you not, as Kenyans, not happy with this? You are bringing a hustler, a dynasty narrative of class struggle, a class struggle that has brought conflicts elsewhere in other African countries. We saw the class struggle bring a conflict in South Sudan. We saw a class struggle bringing conflict in DRC Congo. We saw a class struggle bringing conflict in Ivory Coast, Cote d'Ivoire. We've seen a class conflict bringing chaos in Ethiopia, in Egypt. Are we able, as a professor of conflict resolution, a professor, a preacher, a man, a champion of peace, what can we do for Kenya?
Thank you, Dr. Masanga. And I want to tell you that better days are always in the future. We look forward with a lot of hope. And I want to tell you that President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, for avoidance of doubt, Dr. Masanga did say from Mururu that ukiona simba imenyeshewa sio paka, ngare ni shimba. He went ahead to say that he is firmly in charge and in control. Dr. Masanga, what else do you want me to say more than that? Is Big Four agenda, they are on course, Dr. Masanga. A journey over 1,000 miles. The Chinese people say, you must start with one step. The steps towards achieving the agenda for President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta to live his legacy is on. He will add a pattern to someone else to continue. He has committed himself, Dr. Masanga, to leave Kenya a united country, a peaceful country, and a prosperous country, and is working towards that. Dr. Masanga, let me just have this to say. There are some things which you can do, and sometimes don't allow yourself to cross the line. The Deputy President for the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Ruto, Samoei Ruto, he has been doing all manner of things. He has insubordinated his boss. He has absconded duty. He has done gross misconduct, Dr. Masanga. It is high time he stops, or he will be stopped. I did indicate here, Dr. Masanga, that every home, every organization has got rules and regulations. Dr. William Ruto He has become indisciplined. He has decided going against the party which sponsored him to be the deputy president for the Republic of Kenya. So, Dr. Masanga International, let me just have this to say. Even the first question, you did ask that the president is talking to Mount Kenya. You know, Dr. Masanga, that is a creation of the media. And perhaps when they write those kind of stories is when they say President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta is the 4th president for the Republic of Kenya, serving all 44 tribes, including the new tribe which was admitted very recently, the Shona. So it's not for the mountain. You want to make him appear to be a tribal person, but wherever he speaks in his vernacular, there's a message you want those people to understand, because they seem not to resonate, because they think Kenya is Mount Kenya. Kenya is not Mount Kenya. Kenya, you can see the map of Kenya. Kenya is coast, is northern Kenya, is western, is Rift Valley, is everywhere that's Kenya. So to wind up and submit Dr. Masanga, the worst thing which would happen in this country, Dr. Masanga, is to create a class war. And you don't know what this one will boil into. There are those who have clothes, there are those who don't have clothes. Those who don't have clothes will undress those ones who have them, because they will say that you are the cause of them where they are not wearing clothes. There are those ones, Dr. Masanga, who don't wear shoes. When they will see you tomorrow with shoes, they will want to remove you the shoes and they wear. When they will see you taking the soda in a kiosk and taking mandas, and they are not having, Dr. Masanga, they will say you are a Dynasty. You are the cause why you don't have. But I want to say this to say, Mary Magdalene had anointed Jesus Christ with a very expensive oil. And then the disciples of Jesus Christ, the ranks of Judah, they said, no, this is a waste of the oil. We could have sold this oil and give it to the poor. Jesus did say that you will always have the poor. The poor will always be there in our society, Dr. Masanga. And there is no way that you will say them. The God who has given the rich is the one who has denied the poor. So tomorrow they will have. That's why I said better days are in the future. That's why Dr. Masanga, under the wisdom of the Prime Minister and the President of the Republic of Kenya, they came with a 9-point agenda to address corruption. Who has taken money for Kimarel and Arol Dam, Dr. Masanga? Who has taken money which belongs to Kenya Airports Authority, Dr. Masanga? Who frustrated Mutesa until he died, and many more, Dr. Masanga? Who has grabbed all the plots in this country, Dr. Masanga? And what makes me happy, Dr. Masanga, I did tell you the other day that the Vice President, Kalonzo Musyoka, has never been a petty leader. He has never been malicious. He's a gentleman. He's a diplomat. Do you know he has worked to the criminal department investigation to make a report about the Yatta Rand? This is what I expect of the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. Let him just go all the manner of aggressions which are being said against him. Let him go and present himself and clear his name. So what I want to say, he has crossed the line. When the police tells you, Dr. Masanga, don't go beyond this line, you are a general. You are no nonsense. I've heard you say that you are the likes of General Badi. When you tell someone, don't cross this line, what will happen if he crosses the line, Dr. Masanga? I submit.
Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you very much. Punchline Africa Television. I would like to take this opportunity to announce to you that we have been joined by none other than Daniel Wesonga from the studios of Radio Punchline Africa. You know, Mr. Juma Smith, some of us create a legacy. I have left a legacy down in Nairobi, in Kenya. That is my television radio station. It's online. It's 24 hours, 24 hours, 7 days, 365 days in a week. I just want you to test. Tell the people the sound. Oh my God. Thank you very much. Thank you very much from Radio Punchline in the corner. Thank you very much, Professor Jared Onyari. But before you go to the place again, I want you people to get this breaking news. The former Vice President, Kalonzo Musyoka, has been summoned to the DCI headquarters. I am aware that my radio presenters and the radio directors have already picked that. Yes. And this is a very good sign for the people of Kenya, to the extent that today Kalonzo Musyoka will be able to clear himself up about the allegations of the Yatta land, which Ruto claimed he had actually grabbed. So this is the beginning of the beginning of the beginning of all battles. Because if Kalonzo appears, you must also appear. So that, you know, Uhuru Kenyatta was telling you, I am in charge. But you did not listen. So if you have alleged that Kalonzo stole land, you will also be required to appear to write your statement, how Kalonzo stole the land. So thank you very much. Test the microphone, man.
Yes,
oh my.
Yes,
test the microphone.
Yes,
this is Punchline television right from the command center, political command center in London. Back in Nairobi in the studios. Thank you very much, Daniel Wesonga. Test the microphone.
Yes, a very, very good morning, Dr. Masanga. David at our political command center, Douglas Krimi Bundi in Meru, Professor Jared Onyari in Nairobi, and Jevan Karanja in Nanyuki. I'm coming to you live from the headquarters of Punchline Africa. Here is Punchline Africa Radio. And of course, we are just keeping you updated on whatever news that is happening across the country, the rest of the world. And also to our listeners, we are playing you the best of the African music, Afro Bongo music. If you want to listen, this is the station that you're going to tune in. So keep it live, keep it Radio Punchline.
That's our sign, man. That's our sign.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Take it away, Daniel.
Yes, I've been following the conversation, and of course, in the breaking news is that YPL leader Kalonzo Musyoka has already has recorded a statement of claims peddled against him by the deputy president that he grabbed the 200-acre land in Yatta, and the deputy president made the claims in Bomet last Friday. So Kalonzo has since termed the allegations as propaganda, describing himself as a person of high moral and ethical standing in the society. So I think that is a topic that we're going to be delving into. But otherwise, I've heard whatever Professor said. And my opinion is that the dynasty versus the hustler narrative, it's a very, very dangerous narrative. It's already poisoned the core of our society. And we saw the other day a car of an innocent Kenyan being burnt in pretext that it belongs to a dynasty. And that is not the society that we really want to have as a country, owing to the fact that we are only 18 months to the election. And for God's sake, Dr. Masanga and the fellow panelists, we are a country where the political class is peddling such a narrative, and we are so blind to it in that we cannot realize that we are going to be the victims of this dangerous narrative into our people, that is getting into our people. Soon enough, we are seeing people fighting one another. It will be a boda fighting his brother who owns a car, a brother who owns a shop, or maybe someone without that motorcycle pursuing a person who has one in the pretext that this person owns a motorbike because he is a dynasty, and me, I'm not in a position to own one because I'm a hustler. So therefore, from my perspective, I feel this is a very retrogressive narrative, and it is being driven, unfortunately, by our political class, our deputy president, who is number 2 in command. And for God's sake, He's a person who has been at the International Criminal Court for the allegations of championing and sponsoring post-election violence in Rift Valley. And therefore, if this kind of person comes on the table again, telling people that we have a dynasty, we have a narrative, a hustler section of our society, that is akin to partitioning our society into two castes, the haves and the have-nots. And that is a very, very dangerous terrain, Dr. Masanga, to follow, because we understand, even in Rwanda and Burundi, only that we have two tribes, but these two tribes were radicalized. They were pitted against one another in a form of haves and have-nots. The Hutus were deemed to be the ones who had been disadvantaged against the Tutsis, and therefore they felt that this other community was enriched and it was in a better place in government in terms of wealth, because themselves been deprived and they've been undermined for longer times of periods of time, which the other community was in power. And that is the kind of narrative that the hustler that versus the dynasty creates into our society. And therefore, I'll stand with Professor Jared Onyari and the rest of panelists in condemning those who perpetuate this kind of narrative. They are not people who have the interest of the common man at heart. They are out there to cause violence and mayhem. And this kind of mayhem, it does not affect them. There are people who live in the leafy suburb. Their children are schooling in abroad. And when the fight begins, it is the same hustlers who are being motivated to perpetuate this kind of a narrative who will fight one another. I rest my case, Dr. Masanga.
Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you very much. I know next week we must test some of your music.
Yes.
And the technical team should work that every Friday. I hope the technical team is hearing me down in Nairobi. This is a command. I am like a general body. I want the connection of that radio to the TV and put another camera, which I will send you from London. I want it to be connected such that every Friday we also switch on to the radio and we listen. So there are very many viewers who don't know that we have a radio station. We own that radio station. Punchline Africa Television. Punchline Africa. The radio Punchline Africa. Thank you very much, Daniel Wesonga. In summary, the hustler dynasty narrative is a wrong narrative for Kenya. Your Excellency, President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, Your Excellency, Deputy President Samoei Ruto, Your Excellencies, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, the people of Kenya, I just want to tell you frankly, yesterday I wrote a very serious piece of document from the bottom of my heart. And I haven't seen any of you academicians on this panel thanking me for the inner thoughts that I put on Capital FM website and the radio. So it made a lot of rounds on radio, Capital FM. Everybody was scared. Even Ruto himself got scared that at last some people have come for this narrative to expose the loopholes. And I repeat, exposing the loopholes of insanity in the narrative of the hustler versus dynasty. I got a lot of stupid threats. You don't threaten a general with your stupid saliva. You know, a man who has walked while he sees others fall, a man who has rescued many, is a general. I've walked for avoidance.
Dr. Masanga, tell them you rescued the deputy president, otherwise you will be rotting in hell.
Yes, exactly. I don't want to go that way. Him and the wife, they know I talked to the deputy president. By the way, Ruto cannot face me and insult me. It is this malcontents around the Ruto. Malcontents, you know, in good English, when you become saltless. Omunyo bwe gugwamu omunyo, tegubeera omunyo. Baguwedde. How do you say it in Kikuyu? When salt becomes saltless, what the hell is no salt? What do you say in Meru?
We say chumbe kaga mosemogete jagwa, which means if salt, yes.
And what do you say in Kikuyu from Nanyuki?
We say that Shubuga Mosamo Negotaya Oteago.
Yes, Kiddy. Kiddy, what do you say in Luo?
Say that statement again, Daktari.
When salt becomes saltless, there is no more salt.
Kachumbio kosondado ne.
Aha! Wesonga, what do you say in Lunyala Funyula?
In our side we say ichumbi ni salalas handivula siva ichumbi habatawe.
Habatawe. Yes, what do you say, boss? In Nyamira, Professor Onyare.
Zikanya.
Ikanya. Omunyo. Wekuba gwa omunyo. Tekujali munyo. And that brings me to the topic of Uganda. If the salt is no longer salt, it is saltless. There is no more salt. Don't beat up these younger boys. You don't have any more salt. The salt is gone. Our sign, the salt, imeenda. So the salt is saltless. I want to ask these leaders of Kenya to avoid a class struggle. It can create a conflict. I and Onyali, we started the conflict. Conflicts can begin when there are conflicts. You don't begin without a conflict. You can solve it when there is a real conflict. You can also equally start it and solve it. But in this case, why should Kenya go that route of starting a conflict, Jamen?
For no reason.
For no reason. Why do you want to start a conflict?
When there's redemptive strategy.
When you see people burning, you knock a border when there are 200 borders nearby. Insurance is supposed to come and sort the matter. All border will come and set fire on whether you have children in the car or not. They will set fire on all of you. Is that the society that you people in Kenya want? It is up to you. I might be wrong. I might be right. It is up to you. Time. There is only one factor that stands on Matanga's side. Time. It has never cheated me. Since 1981, I told Ugandans I disagreed with President Museveni. When he was in UPM, we became political opponents right from Tanzania. But when we stepped in Uganda, we became friendly because we are in the military commission, all of us. I was in the political diplomatic commission with Nasasira, not this one here, the real one, the original Nasasira, who was with us in the struggle. The late Odada Nabdele recruited me. The late Omonyo Jok, if they were here. Yashi Tandon, Professor Rugumayo. They are my witnesses. There is one man called Professor Edward Rugumayo. Ask him if you are Ugandan. Go and ask him if I did not work in that secretariat in 1979. So I have a history of having worked, not a history of having grabbed. I've never grabbed like my friend somewhere in Africa, Kenya has grabbed. from school to real grabbing. I've worked. I was a member of the Political Diplomatic Commission. When UNLF fell, I remained a member of the Military Commission, working in technical department with Paul Mwanga, the late, with President Museveni as our vice chairman. I disagreed. I am one of the living examples of veterans of politics. Forget, for Ugandans, the contribution that Dr. Besigye and others have brought on board is as a result of us, of Matanga, having talked and talked and talked. In 1985, I want to tell you people on the set here, I was opposed to President Museveni. 86, I opposed. 87, I opposed up to today. My friends, some of them, they went to work with him, and then they withdrew after they have been banned. Me, I stood on my ground. I said, come what may, I will never work. And today I want to tell you in summary, as you start one of the most exciting topics that I am going to throw for Professor Onyali to moderate, because it is very touchy. It touches my country. The week that was, this week, I want to tell you, I have never succumbed to any form of intimidation. This morning, I wrote yesterday that document. I stand by it. I have no regrets. If you Kenyans feel that what I wrote was very bad, you write another big paper and say I was wrong. But if you got the route you are going, you are creating a conflict. And that conflict is going to consume you. And if that conflict consumes you, don't ask me where I am. If God gives me strength to be on earth, I will ask you, what did I tell you? So the Hassler Dynasty narrative is wrong. Before I conclude, I want to tell Professor, and I want you also to start moderating. And I'm giving you the opportunity today, because I want to be a debater here. What is BBI? BBI is a redemption strategy. And I want every Kenyan, whether you are on Hassler, whether you are Ruto, whether you are President Uhuru Kenyatta, listen to me. Whether you are Raila Odinga, please listen to me. And please, let me repeat it. Please, 4 times, 5, please listen to me. BBI is a redemption strategy.
Correct.
Don't misunderstand it. BBI is not a political process. Tuelewane hapo. If I'm wrong, remove 1 degree from me and take it. And in fact, I'm ready to give it free.
No, Dr. Masanga said like this: we are ready to surrender all the degrees we have if it is not a redemption strategy, and we remain the way they are.
BBI, most of the people who are, why this is coming up, and I want to speak like a military man, like a buddy. Why this has come up? It's a confusion. You have confused the people. BBI is supposed to be a redemption strategy of 9 points.
Yes.
Not a political strategy of 9 points.
Yes.
Don't tell me any stupid thing. I will not agree. And today I am telling you, don't come to me talk about BBI as a political strategy, narrative. No, BBI is a redemption strategy. What is a redemption strategy? 1, accountability. 2, reconciliation. 3, truth telling. 4, restitution. 5, reparation. 6, healing. Hallelujah. You need to restitute the Electoral Commission. You need to change what brings violence. You need to change the method of voting. You need to change the method of violence. Not violence, the method of elections, mechanisms. I swear before God, and I want to swear that the Almighty who brought me on this earth, if Kenya goes to elections with Chebukati and the Electoral Commission still running these elections, it will blow up. And I've shown. Am I wrong?
You are right.
If Kenya doesn't listen to President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and change, amend the Constitution of Republic of Kenya with its amendment omnibus, that changes the method of governance, the method of distribution of wealth, the method of reconciliation, the method of healing, the method of accountability, corruption, and you want to go to elections, you will be worse than the republic across the bridge. You will be worse, and I repeat, you will be worse in terms of turmoil than Uganda. You will want to bring something to quell the violence. I am here because I'm speaking from experience. I've given you a history. From 1978, I've been holding a gun. I know how to dismantle and mantle and put back AK-47. I've seen quite a lot on the journey. And that journey has given me experience. I've seen 10 governments overthrown. If you have seen that, tell me, show me. But there you are. If you do things and say Uhuru Kenyatta is bad and is not bringing unity, and you want to brush aside the BBI and just go on, look, talk election, these elections might not be anywhere near the ones that we saw in 2007. Therefore, I submit and hand over to my brother, Professor Nyari, on the topic of Uganda with his sons, Douglas Kirimi, waiting to go to jump at the jugular of the man across the bridge. This week, the elections in Uganda brought us a lot of agony. Results were announced on Sunday at the beginning, and these results were tilted into a nomination exercise instead of electoral exercise. President Museveni allegedly took a lead, turned the votes, closed, pumped in the army to scare people from voting. Some of them worked against his own vote in some areas because people, some places, people could not come out to vote. The victory of 85% of Ugandans was robbed. 85% of younger generation. We are the older generation. Many of you think, oh, some of us should be in Uganda. No, to fight. No, we have handed over the baton to our younger generation. I'm one of those who has handed over the baton. I cannot be competing with Chagulani. Chagulani can compete with my children. With Pade Matanga, Ephraim Matanga Bulu, Alex Matanga. Miriam Matanga Habedi, Eso Matanga, Nora Matanga, Jackie Matanga, and Audrey Matanga. Look at that. Those are the children. They are all above 22. I cannot be fighting together, fighting for this. We have handed over the baton. That's why you see my hometown, Professor Nyari, I brought 100% victory. And let the people of Chagulani hear this. And I want them to hear it loud. That the only constituency that you got out of Uganda is from this mouth. I have no regrets to tell you today. That's my constituency. That's where my hometown, my mother went and voted. She's 90 years old. We voted my cousin, Johnny Baptist in Ambesha, the only MP who stood by outside the Uganda area. Because we are not tribalists. I am not a tribalist. Look at me, why I look like this, very handsome. It's on the weight I put on, which has made my handsomeness to go away. But soon it will come back. But look at me. We don't have tribal inclinations, cheap politics of tribes. In my constituency, look at the map of Uganda, who voted where. You will find my home voted 100%, 10,000 votes MP, and several hundreds of thousands in my for President for Chagulani, and all the MPs who stood in Bududa district. They begged me not to finish them. Those who did not listen to me. Because they are all my relatives. But here we are. And let the people hear. Chagulani's people must hear. The only constituency you got outside Uganda is from this mouth, you see. This one here. That's how we are. Do you have our support? You have our support. Free this young man to go out. We elders are here to guide him. We are not going to allow him to break Uganda. Free him to walk. Rugunda, I have told you on phone. Get this guy out to walk free. The more you put him in jail, the more trouble you are causing yourselves. You will not kill all these Ugandans. Hello? People are very annoyed. Mr. President Museveni, if you are hearing this speech, hear it. I am a fighter like you. I took up to fight because of your inspiration. I found you in Tanzania. Because you are inspired, I was also inspired. Listen to me. The way you are doing your things of locking this younger man in that house without food, you are giving him more victory. And the people are getting tired. Charge him with what you want to charge him. Allow him. The laws are very clear. Ugandans are not bad people to come and burn buildings. We know the vote was stolen. You have taken it. You are now the leader. Please act like an elder of 76 years old. Allow the younger man to walk free. Why do you detain him? Why? The votes are already counted. Why do you bring bad luck to already the wind that has flown? Why do you bring it back? I'm talking as an elder.
Yeah.
President Museveni, I'm 65. I have grandchildren, 10 of them. 10. I don't know how many you have, but I believe they should be many. Because your children are almost my age, my children's age. Mohozi is about 40 something, nearly to my firstborn. The same age. My daughter, my firstborn daughter. These are children. Don't tie this man in a house. Hey, Jermaine, what is the benefit of tying this guy in a house? You are spoiling your own governance. The national community is now realizing that the guy is tied this guy in a house, denied him food, denied him water, denied him even air, denied him even time to talk to his wife. Because if the soldiers are watching in the window, glass window, can you talk to your wife? Can you talk to your wife? If people are watching in the glass, they have said don't close the curtains. Ours, when we do this, we do once like this. This is not very good. There is nobody going to shout. We have shouted, and I cannot be a good Ugandan by not shouting about Uganda. So I now want to hand over the debate to you people to discuss. Professor Onyari, the debate is now opened. I hand over to Professor Onyari, wherever he is. He's online, but I'll come back to him later. Let's begin with Douglas Budi Kirimi. The man.
Thank you.
And then Wesonga, we see you have prepared some music for us for the last dance. The only thing that before you start talking about Uganda is to sing this song for the Ugandan people. And I will sing hymn number 254, which says, Tewali munsi muno mulongofu songa tewali ba mugulu wabula bantu beyalongosa munabe mumusai gwa Yesu munabe mwete mulitukula wataliye. Ugandans, wake up. Don't go to violence. Tewali munsi muno mulongofu songa tewali ba mugulu. That's it. Take my message. The time is not very far. The time is coming. I hand over the discussion to my comrades in Nairobi. I can see Daniel Wesonga with Radio Punchline Africa ready to release the songs. And you know, the songs of Hakuna kitu kibaya kuduniani kama shida. Ijakue kila siku shida shida. Siku ya mwisho. I used to be, that is in Baraka Mushe. That was mushrooms in Carnival. That was his last song. When he went after Arusha, he had a motor accident. You know, those days Tanzanians used to kill people by using bees. They put bees in your boot. When the speed goes to 120, the boot opens and the bees come in your car. Have you ever read about intelligence network? Karimi, am I surprising you? Are you shocked now? You know, when you get out of that office, check your car first. You might have bees inside the car. Thank you very much. I hand over the responsibility of guiding this debate to Professor Onyari. Professor Onyari, I had already chosen Kirimi, so let him go and you take over. Call Mr. Daniel, call Karanja from Nanyuki, where the train, I'm told he's coming to Nairobi today, because the train at 4 p.m. is returning. Or it has left already Nanyuki. You know, people, Kenyatta has done something. President Kenyatta has done something. Give him a clap. Let's give a clap to President Uhuru Kenyatta. He has revived the infrastructure. Wachana watu wanazungumiza porojo. But there is something coming in the ICC. I think the topic should be there on Sunday. The ICC, Mr. Paul Chicheru, who went with his laptop. The laptop, I'm told, has brought a lot of chaos. Woo! Woo! This is our sign, Prof. This is our sign. We have no more problems with people across the bridge. Thank you very much. Back to you, Professor, in Nairobi. Thank you very much, all of you. Thank you, Ugandans. I am listening from the background. God bless you all. I will come in. Kirimi, you are under the moderation of Professor Gerard Onyari.
Thank you, Dr. David Masanga. And before I speak on the issue on Uganda, allow me to speak shortly about the IEBC of the Republic of Kenya. Kindly, Dr. Masanga.
Go ahead. You are now under his...
The issue that we have... I study guided. Professor Jared Onyari, give me 1 minute to speak about the IEBC in Kenya.
Your 1 minute starts now.
Thank you, Professor Jared Onyari. The issue that we have today at the IEBC of the Republic of Kenya in these tumultuous times that we are, especially now that we are going to an election in about 18 months, is a very sad situation. A very biased chairman of the Electoral Commission of Kenya, which is Mr. Wafula Chebukati. We need to fumigate and sanitize the IEBC of the Republic of Kenya completely, including the workers that work at IEBC, workers that help Wafula Chebukati to curate the content that they even wrote on their social media accounts. We need to have a proper management of IEBC, and reforming an IEBC is not an option, including if it means we take a motion to Parliament to extend the election date. If Kenyans don't agree, MPs don't agree on the election date, we need to do away with the Chebukati and do reforms at IEBC. Like Dr. Masanga said, Kenyans have reset, Kenyans of goodwill, Kenyans that are patriotic to their flag and to their soil. They know if they go to the elections in 2022 with this current IEBC, we are going to run into a very, very serious problem. And that is why we need reforms at IEBC. On the issue in Uganda, the general in power today is General Yoweri Museveni, a man who has been steering elections since 1986. The man that has been in power for over 34 months and 11 months today is a shameless dictator that has been beating his grandchildren and also terrorizing the people of Uganda. Remember, on 18th and 19th of November 2020, in the middle of a pandemic, this dictator killed the people of Uganda in their number at 54. And so many people have succumbed in the middle of a pandemic. People have died from coronavirus. People have died from being beaten up by the military, being shot by rifle bullets from police. And this shameless dictator, a man with no dignity, a man with no honor, has been able to degrade the people of Uganda. The pride of Uganda has been brought down. The curtain of hope in Uganda has been rolled down by a man that has refused and also refused to cede his ground to the reforms at the Electoral Commission in Uganda for the people of Uganda to elect a man or a woman that they want their country to go forward. What we want for the people of Uganda is clear. The people of goodwill across the world, the people of Uganda themselves, want a situation where they can be able to have their own leader for the people and by the people. But General Museveni has decided to treat Uganda as his own personal property. Even after now, this is almost the 8th day having arrested Bobi Wine and put him under house arrest. This general has continued doing victory laps across Uganda from Rwakitura to Kampala. This is not the right time to celebrate. This is not the right time to go ringing the bells of war in the ears of Uganda and telling them to welcome you. Welcome you from a victory that you have stolen. Welcome you from an election where Ugandans died. On 18th and 19th of November 2020, in the middle of a pandemic, General Museveni, who killed 54 people, the people of Uganda, the brand of Uganda is in your hands. The brand of the Ugandan people is in the hands of your military man, your son, General Muhoozi Kainerugaba. The people of Uganda are no longer restless. The spirit of the people of Uganda is restless. The spirit of the people of Uganda can no longer be contained by your dictatorial tendencies. Remember General Museveni, as you terrorize the people of Uganda, as you have done for the last 34 years and 11 months. The people of Uganda are speaking in the loud voices. The U.S. itself is speaking. Remember, the incoming Secretary of State, Mr. Bilken, is coming for you. President Joe Biden is coming for you.
Hello. We seem to have lost Kirimi. Chavan, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you very much, Professor. And it's a very good discussion that we are having on the panel. And on the issue of Bobi Wine being on house arrest. In Kenya, in our constitution, when you go to petition a presidential election, we always have a timeline when you can present your petition on the Supreme Court, and your case will be listened by the judges of the Supreme Court. I think because Bobi Wine, I don't know the stipulation in the constitution of Uganda, but I think they have such kind of a clause where there's a time to go and present your petition. I think Museveni, with his own under his regime, they are playing with time factor so that by the time Bobi Wine will be set out of the house arrest, the time frame to present a petition on the Supreme Court will have lapsed. I think that is the route that Museveni is taking, so that by the time Museveni is set free to go out, you not have time to go and present his petition because the time will already have lapsed. I think he is playing with the time factor. But all said and done, this amounts to intimidation. This amounts to violation of human rights, because when you put a man, an opposition leader, under house arrest without providing him with the basic necessities, like the food, clothing, and so on, and you have interfered with his freedom because he can't do some things when the soldiers are all around manning his place and monitoring everything that he is doing. And they have said something that Bobi Wine claimed to have gone short of food, and the generals are saying that they allowed the wife to go out and buy some food stuff, but the wife said that he cannot go out leaving the husband in the house, because to her maybe she can be abducted and she'll be found in the forest hidden somewhere. And I think that is a very good step. Let them provide Bobi Wine with the basic necessities, and let them go to a court of law and charge him with the crimes that he have committed, because as it stands now, they have not stipulated, they have not come out clearly to mention what claims did Bobi Wine commit so that he can be put in such kind of a scenario where he cannot, his freedom is suppressed, his rights are suppressed. And to the people of Uganda, the march for freedom has already started. What they are doing now, they are agitating. The people of Uganda, Uganda are becoming more intolerance. They are losing hope, and by the time the chains break, these people will run on the streets. These people started demanding the release of Bobi Wine, because what is happening amounts to the people of goodwill. They will go to the streets and call for the release of Bobi Wine, because as their leader. And on the issue of elections, Professor, we need to have a mechanism, not only in Uganda, but also in our country, Kenya, whereby we'll have electioneering bodies that will be credible, that will have a verifiable election that is free from all kind of malpractices, rigging, and all those manner of things that are under voter intimidations. We saw in Uganda, where soldiers, the army, were manning all the polling stations, scaring away voters who have a contrary opinion with the Museveni. That is why we have a 50%, a good huge of people in Uganda, they didn't go and vote because of those kind of intimidation. It is high time for all the countries in Africa to work to a system whereby they can be guaranteed of a free and fair elections. And that is what we are working here in the country. When we talk of the BBI as a redemption strategy, we want to redeem ourselves from the sins, from the evils that we have in the elections in this country. We have seen the kind of scenarios that we go when we have a contentious election. It happened in 2007. It happened in 2017. And that is why I say, on my own personal opinion, if it means extending the regime of the President Uhuru Kenyatta in order to work on the IEBC, to have a chairman, to have a clean commission, then let it be it, because we don't want to go the route that the people of Uganda have gone. Because when you look at this continent, Kenya, in East African community, we have set ourselves an examples in matters democracy. We are not yet perfect, but we are going there. From 1992, 2002 to 2012, and where we are now, we are doing one or two, three things to better our democracy. And I think the people of Uganda, they have somewhere they can learn one or two, three things on how they can deal with their issues back home. Therefore, all said and done, the people of Uganda should remain steadfast. They should remain calling for good governance. They should continue calling the hypocrisy and the intimidations in the ruling party of Museveni, so that at the end of the day, their voices will be heard. Because things go as, Professor, when we keep our voice shut, when we don't speak, things go haywire. It is time that we make our voice heard, so that the people of Uganda will be liberated, and they will have to celebrate the fruits of independence that they seek very hardly. Thank you.
Very well. Kidi, I want you to come on board and address these questions. The Ugandan people exercise their right to vote. Thereafter, we are seeing the presidential candidate, Bobi Wine, is under siege. It's under house arrest. What crime has he committed? What is
Well, you don't
President Museveni fearing to put him under house arrest. He see that he doesn't want him to challenge the results in court. And the next question I'm asking you is President Museveni testing the patience of the international community? Because I saw the ambassador for US going to the residence of Bobi Wine and they could not be allowed in. And where is the voice of the African Union? I want you to address in that line. And mute yourself, Kidi.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor Nyari. One thing that the downside of locking Bobi Wine, subjecting Bobi Wine to house arrest after the election, in itself delegitimizes the supposed win of Museveni. So that even if Museveni had won fair and square, the mere fact that he does not permit the people of Uganda the latitude to express free will is a demonstration that his win was rigged. And therefore that denies him the small shreds of legitimacy or even sympathy that he would have retained. Secondly, there is another thing that we must put into context, that the 4 years of Donald Trump as American president generally emboldened bad practices around the world. And dictators like Museveni now had a temerity to equate Uganda and the United States. There was a way that when there was good practice, good governance, good democratic, good democratic practices in countries like the US, countries around the world were cautious to try to toe that line. But then when we saw a sitting US president inciting insurrection against his own country in the US, somehow this emboldened bad behaviors that were previously common in African countries like Uganda. 3 is that by Museveni subjecting Bobi Wine to house arrest, he is actually testing the patience not only of the international community, but of the people of Uganda. Because Museveni is threatening the people with the power of the gun. The question is, how many can he kill? So that if the people of Uganda say today that enough, the 3 million says that enough is enough, you can now kill us all, Museveni would kill, let's say, worst case scenario, 100,000. But they would overrun him, overrun his military, get into the State House and take things over. And that would be a terrible scenario that we do not want to see in Uganda. We do not want loss of lives. We do not want massive displacement that comes with such violence. We do not want the massive loss of property that is synonymous with a violent takeover. So it is incumbent upon Museveni to ensure that he restricts himself to at least basic tenets of the law, like ensuring that the right to dissent is granted to the people of Uganda. Right to dissent is not a privilege. Right to dissent is one of those rights that emanates not from the benevolence of man, but the mere fact that you are a human being born in this world of flesh and blood, you begin to enjoy those rights. The other thing is that where is the African Union? You see, previously it was called OAU. And when it was OAU, it has been criticized that it was a club of African executives. And so they changed the name to AU in an attempt to be an aspiration, a place for the people of Africa. The tragedy is that all the habits die hard. Today, during Kenya's post-election violence of 2007-2008, we saw the pragmatic leadership of our neighbor then Ndugu Jakaya Mrisho Kikwete, who, when Martha Karua and William Ruto from different camps were unwilling to cede grounds, we saw Jakaya Mrisho Kikwete flying into the country and engaging in direct diplomacy between the two principals, shuttling between two principals to ensure that a deal was hammered. Today, as there is a humanitarian crisis in Uganda, courtesy of high-handedness of Museveni, we expected that not only the commission, the AU commission, chaired by Mohamed Faki, but also the current chairman of the AU would have stepped in and demanded accountability from his colleague. Because there is a reason why the AU, in its infinite wisdom or lack of it, decided to establish African peer review mechanism as part of its branches within the AU. The African peer review mechanism was to ensure that African leaders would hold each other to highest standards of leadership possible. But then when Nelson Mandela left African peer review mechanism, it died, a natural death. So that today we want to see an African Union that takes up its role in the League of Regional Bodies that ensures that there is that demands for accountability in governance. So that demanding for accountability must not be a preserve of the United States. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Idi. Daniel, I want to hear from you because time has come to vindicate us. We talked about the electronic and the digital elections. We took almost half of last year discussing about that, but it has come to pass. If President Kaguta Museveni is listening to us, what will you tell him as a young man to stop doing to pop wine and this generation? Daniel? As Daniel is preparing to come in, Kirimi, what will you tell President Kaguta Museveni now that the digital election has become a sham? What will you tell him now as a way forward, as a way of redeeming Uganda? Because if he continues this way, Uganda may sink. Go
Professor,
on.
Is it myself or Douglas?
Douglas.
Okay.
Thank you, Professor Jared Onyari. Museveni belongs to the age of where people were going to the bush when they wanted power. And Museveni went to power and said his election was stolen in 1981. And today, the people in Uganda will never care about his role as a veteran because he has done his bit in Uganda. And again, at this point, the people of Uganda are very clear. All they want is their country and they don't want anybody sticking to power. In 1986, when he came to power immediately, he said the problem that Africa has is a problem of people sticking to power. But when he was interviewed the other day, he said democratically that he is in power for 34 years and 11 months because he is there democratically. People have been giving him a mandate. Nobody has been giving Kaguta Museveni a mandate to lead the people of Uganda. He has been stealing elections, and also he has stolen elections and also put Bobi Wine under house arrest. Remember, Museveni, if you are listening to this or your people are listening to this, some Kutesas of this world who have been stealing from the public resources and also from public coffers and building buildings in Kampala and others being built by the butcher of Mogadishu, Mohamed Saleh, who is in Mogadishu killing the people, who is in Kampala killing the people of Uganda all the way from Mogadishu. General Museveni, a time has come for you to earn your boots. A good dancer knows when to stop dancing, and also a good dancer knows when to groom others to go to dance. General Museveni, there are people you have worked with before. Why don't you trust anyone, including your son is your personal bodyguard? General Museveni, a time has come for you to let go the nation of Uganda. I have heard you before when I was a kid, when I was a small boy, you used to say, General Museveni, there can never be prosperity and no leader in Uganda's capacity to lead the people of Uganda. Is it you, General Museveni, who has the power to lead Uganda alone? Remember, Museveni, when you are coming to an end of your regime, because you are coming to an end of your regime. America does no longer recognize you as the president of Uganda, because they are saying there is an issue there. As Biden takes over, in his first 100 days, we are going to see action, and that action might cost you your life or might cost you your office. General Museveni, it is wise for you as an old man, as an elder statesman, and as the president of Uganda. It is the high time for you to let go the people of Uganda so that they can find a leader of their own, a leader that can take them to their promised land, because General Museveni, you have stifled their journey to Canaan. You have stifled their journey to prosperity. You have stifled their journey to progress. You have taken the people of Uganda hostage for so many years. It is the high time you relinquish power and let the people of Uganda decide on their fate as a people. Even General Museveni, yourself, you know very well in your heart that you are no longer feasible. It is no longer feasible. It is no longer tenable for you to continue embarrassing the nation of Uganda in Committee of Nations across the world. When people want to give examples of failed states and banana republics, they mention Uganda. In the Committee of Nations, General Museveni features one of the deadliest and also very dangerous dictators of our time. Remember General Museveni as young people of goodwill from the world who support Chaguranyi and other young people in Uganda. We have no kind ones for you. I don't think there is a country in Africa that can, when you are deposed from power, can host you very well, comfortably, knowing that you are a dangerous dictator who has been feeding on the brand of Ugandans. Remember the people that you are terrorizing today, the people of Uganda, the people that you denied internet for over 10 days so that you can stick to power, people who work online, people who are digital savvy. These are the young people that are going to chase you out of power, General Museveni. Remember, it is the high time you seek dialogue, you get Bob Wine on the table. It is the young boy from the house where you have arrested him. Let his wife enjoy the husband of a peace, of a youth. Let everyone at Bobi Wine's party enjoy their freedom as Ugandans, even if they're in opposition. Politics is a competition of ideas, it's a competition of policies. General Museveni, it is the high time you let go the people of Uganda. You are the pharaoh that has been holding the people of Uganda for a long time. It is the high time the Uganda people be let go from a dictator who has taken Uganda as his personal property. General Museveni, we should remind you that this is not Rwakitura where you keep cows. Uganda people deserve better than this, and Uganda people don't deserve to die under your sword, General Museveni. They have done nothing to you as a people. You need to release the people of Uganda and let them go. It is the high time you go. Thank you. I submit Professor Jared Onyari.
Yeah, yes, that's a very good, Douglas. We come at another round to Douglas, to Chavan. Chavan, yes. Tell us now, you have heard what Douglas has told President Museveni if he was listening to us.
Yeah.
What will you tell the African leaders who have stayed more in time? And particularly, you have heard what the Joe Biden administration is warning the African people. What will you say to tell Museveni to start preparing?
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. And the one thing that I would tell those leaders in African continent who have overstayed in power is one thing that their time has come to an end, and it's time that they start putting their luggages in order and they depart from the political arena, they depart from the leadership helm that they have held for many years. Professor, when you look at these countries where these dictators are, these countries are one of the most poorly developed nations in the country, in the world. These are the countries where human rights are suppressed. These are countries where the economic level this poverty level is quite high. When you look at the literacy level, even in terms of education, most of these countries, they don't get a good and quality education. That is why these people remain suppressed. Because when you want to suppress your opponent, when you want to suppress the people you think that they are opposing you, what you do, you make them suffer. You put them into conditions where they cannot thrive. You put them into poverty. You put them into illiteracy, ignorance, so that these people cannot make wiser decisions. And that's some of the things that these people should understand. That is what makes them remain in power. And when you look at what we have in this country, Hasra agenda is an agenda that tends to give people handouts, that tends to make people lazy, that makes people to race against those who have their own property, those who have tired and toiled hard to get their house, their cars, and so on. So that these people, at the end of the day, they become dependent. They depend on these handouts. These people, at the end of the day, they don't have a voice. You suppress them and you control them. Because when you give someone's handouts, you have the right to control what they do. You have the right to control where they vote. And that's exactly what these dictators have perfected for many years. They have perfected the art of denying and putting people to suffering, poverty, diseases, so that these people will not have a voice. Because an enlightened community, an enlightened voter, a person who has basic facilities, a person who have hit warmth on their pocket in terms of money, these people are hard to manipulate. But poor people, people who have been subjected to pain and suffering and emotional distresses, these people are easy to manipulate and to control. And that is the perfection that the dictators have perfected. And that is the same that the deputy president of this country is learning from. That is why he is perfecting the handouts narrative, so that these people become dependent. And at the end of the day, they start seeing you as a savior, but that you are not. They start praising you, they start worshiping you, and you manipulate them and you dump them. That is the kind of scenario. Therefore, all in all, the dictators should leave offices. Museveni, if you are listening to us, I know you have people who watch this. Your time is up. You have run Uganda for many years. The country is not on a stable state. It is time you give another Uganda. We have good Ugandans. We have people who are capable of taking that country to the next level. Your time is up. Leave the office, allow somebody else, and you see what they can do. Allow the people of Uganda to breathe with a new leadership. Maybe some things better will come, because every leadership has its own challenges and has its own benefits. Maybe the leadership that will come after Museveni will take the Uganda to where it belongs in the world map. It will take Uganda to where it aspires to be. In this country, Professor, in the regime of Moi, we had a very poor country in terms of the economic, the literacy level. But when a new regime came, after 24 years, after President Kibaki took power, we saw a revival. We get free education. Now the people who are challenging the government of the day, the people who are challenging the opposition, the people who are making their voice heard, most of them went through the free primary education from 202 to where we are today. Therefore, new leadership brings new dynamics, brings new dimensions, and the people tend to, because there's a regime that they have fought for, this regime tends to care to the people. It is time for these dictators to vacate. Also in Cameroon, and the other poor leaders in the entire African continent, they should vacate office and they allow people to breathe through a new regime, new leaders that have new technology, new knowledge, new skills to take their countries to the next level. Thank you.
Daniel. Now let me just go to Dr. David Masanga. We know very well a prophet is not accepted in his home. Even if he's not accepted in his home, he has got a message. What message will you tell the people of Uganda now that you have been in the struggle and you are still in the struggle and you have handed the baton to the young generation? As a redemption strategy, as we are very passionate in ensuring that the PPI passes in Kenya, what do you tell the people of Uganda? Give them hope on the way forward.
First of all, efforts are underway to bridge the bridge. I don't know whether you understand me. Bridging the bridge. We want to bring the sense of
bridge the divide
of this togetherness. The vote has been stolen. There's no doubt about that. The vote was stolen. And I predicted this, before even the counting started, before even the voting started. You can look at my clips that I told people of Uganda. First of all, Professor Onyari, you have asked me a very good question. Was this election necessary? If you ask me, from my point of view, as an academic and a schooler who has gone to school and studied political science, not in Nyaka universities, but in London, where education came from, I will tell you, there was no need of the Ugandan election. Because there was nothing that it was going to change. It has changed nothing. It has only lost hundreds of people dead. It has produced dead bodies. There was no need of producing dead bodies. When we could have elected the president through the Vatican church style, until we get a white smoke.
I like that, Dr. Masanga.
There was no need. We could have gone the Vatican way. You don't need. Museveni should sack all his constitutional lawyers. Sack them. Mr. President, if you hear me, I don't like some of your behaviors, but I give you advice as an elder also in a mafia clan. You beat me by only 10 years.
A mafia clan?
Yes, you have children. I have 8 grown-ups.
You have grandchildren?
10.
The 11th one came?
The whole of
the 11th one came?
The first grandchild is about to produce another child. So I am in trouble. But I better tell the truth before I go down 6 feet. Mzee, you sack all your constitutional lawyers. Sack them. They should not have left you to go into this shame of you stealing an election in order to sustain power. And I'm telling the Ugandans, because you could have gone to parliament of Kadaga, extended your term, captured your tenure, declared martial law in the pandemic. In the pandemic, this is a pandemic. It's an emergency where such instruments in power are given through the Constitution to safeguard the people of Uganda. Have you ever seen this head, right? This is it now, Kerkirimi. This is the head talking. Have you seen? If Kidi is a lawyer, listen to what my reasoning is. Kid is a lawyer, of course. Look at my reasoning. The government of Uganda should have gone to parliament. His Excellency President should have directed his Attorney General to write a motion, to present a motion to parliament, to extend the tenure of office of His Excellency the President. Allow the president to have his 5-year terms kept in a store. I'm talking about the kabada. We in the local, we say kabada. In Uganda, tujayogera mu kabada. Put that in the shelf and bring it to dispensation where President Museveni could rule through martial law or emergency powers, because Because, and let Ugandan scholars, I see some professors of political science in Makerere have run out of ideas. They can't even advise. Law scholars can't advise this. We should have spared our Uganda. One, from COVID-19, which is a pandemic. After these elections, you are going to see how many people in Uganda are going to go down, God forbid, broken down, sick of COVID-19. Because SOPs were not followed. If I'm wrong, just put your eyes and see. And I want to tell you, I want to say this, Tanzania and the Democratic Republic of Congo have been banned from traveling to United Kingdom. If you have a Tanzanian passport and a passport from Democratic Republic of Congo, you will not enter United Kingdom with effect from today. So we don't know how many Ugandans. We don't know whether Uganda will also be added on this list. I am now telling the truth as an intellectual, a scholar of political science to the last iota on earth, that even if you wake me from my dead grave, I'll write you a Karl Marx theory without looking at the books. So listen to me. If Museveni wants to restore Uganda, sack the Attorney General and his whole office, they misled him. You should have declared a state of emergency, suspended the elections, and ruled by decree of emergency until a situation comes when coronavirus vaccine is here. Then you start talking of elections. Mr. President, on that one you erred. Mr. President, on that one you are misled. And sack any officer who calls himself presidential advisor, legal advisor, all this rubbish. Rubbish. You should have done that. And I want to blame the MPs of the Republic of Uganda. The current MPs, because their tenure of office is still on. You misled Ugandans. You brought Ugandans to the death point. If this corona kills Ugandans, you should also be accountable. You should have not looked at NRM alone. You should have looked at the pandemic. I don't know whether Karimi, you are with me now. The pandemic was there. I don't think President Uhuru Kenyatta in Kenya will allow Kenyans to hold this election with the pandemic. If the pandemic in Kenya goes on the way it is now, I don't think there will be an election in this country, because they will use the constitution to extend his tenure and hold it until the situation becomes good, then hold elections. That's what sensible governments do. The government of Uganda lacked the senses, the oversight mechanisms of seeing far, focused. You should have seen far that these campaigns under COVID-19 are impossible. You can't tell people to wear masks, which they don't have, when they don't have even money to buy masks. The people are poor. Most of the people are poor. Most of the people in Uganda are relying on the local hubs from Mount Elgon, my area where I come from. People are drinking local herbs to survive. Apparently, some of them are working very well about this cough. And that is why A government must have sensible people, reasoning people, of equivalent of the head of Dr. Matanga, anywhere on earth. If you don't have me in there, then you are useless, because you should have reasoned like I am reasoned. You should have postponed this election. You should have not lost people. You should have not brought the army in Kampala. You should have not deployed people. You should have not killed people. The demonstrators would have not been there. Who would come and oppose and say, hold the elections under COVID-19? Who? Even who would say the president is ruling under COVID-19, let's remove him? Nobody. You remove him and you remove COVID-19? If you remove president when he's ruling with a decree, you remove COVID-19. Even if you have votes, can't those votes wait? That's the point. So we erred there. Now come to the day of voting, after voting. We said 13 districts have COVID-19. But the president kept on going to these 13 districts. So is he immune? Or there was air that was blown from Nile River, which was different from the air. It created a suspicion. Yesterday, His Excellency came all the way from his rural area, stopping, greeting people, coming out of the car. I'm more worried about his life, because I'm not a man who wants people dead. We want people to see a change, a better Uganda tomorrow. I would wish to see President Museveni seated in Rwakitura looking after his cows when President Matanga is in power. And I see the type of governance. Give him protection. And I want to tell my people in opposition, don't threaten the current. You know, when you threaten the current president, he will not leave. Give him soft landing. If you threaten him, he can't leave. He has seen what happened to Mubarak. Hosni Mubarak was put in a cage like a dog. Kirimi. And sorry. Professor Onyari, you teach conflict. You teach resolution of conflict like I do. You think President Museveni would relinquish power when he sees the way Mr. Mubarak was put? No. Let's try to change Africa. Let's give this man soft landing, immunity. He goes home. Instead of condemning now, the election has been stolen. It is gone. But let's give ideas that can bring Uganda back. As an academic, I have that solution. 2.
Very well, go ahead. Give them the solution.
3, don't imprison opposition leaders. Don't put that small younger man with his wife and a kid under those conditions. You are playing politically with emotions of millions and millions and millions. I'm telling you, Mr. President, today, if you are hearing this speech, listen and quickly release that guy to go home and to be free. Give him 2 policemen to guard him for his security. If you say there are people who want to kill him, give him policemen, normal good policemen, to look after him like any other leader of opposition or presidential candidate. But don't detain him, Because millions and millions, I am now telling you, if your intelligence doesn't tell you, I'm telling you, millions and millions are getting angry every time they see those pictures. And every time they hear this man is under rope with a child, you know he's appealing to millions and millions worldwide. And in Uganda itself. So you will not kill all these people. Even if you have a sharpest army, that kills like what? Even that army has got relatives. It will reach a point where they cannot kill. I want to tell you and I confess on this program that I went to Mugabe. President Museveni knows I'm a great friend of Mugabe, of late President Mugabe. He knows it. And you could do nothing when Mugabe was around for me in Zimbabwe. He liked me. I went to him in Addis Ababa. This was 2015 African Union Summit. He had sacked the Vice President, Madame Mujuru. So I went to him in his hotel. Actually, that day he gave me $1,626 $1,600 to pay my accommodation. Because he asked you, I know you needed to pay accommodation. He brought an envelope. His own money. You see, there are people who are not thieves. Mugabe was not a thief. He got from his bag and removed his envelope of per diem. In fact, the paper was written per diem of the president. And he removed $1,600 and $23 something. He said, this was my per diem, but the government of Ethiopia, somebody has paid. So for you, I know you don't have anybody. You are in exile. I need you to go and pay your accommodation. They let Mugabe. Then he said, aha, now tell me, because he thought I had come to look for, for something from him. Now tell me, what is the situation out there? What do people say in London? I said, Mr. President, sanctions in the European Union have finished them a blow. They have removed them. It's only Britain that has a problem with you and the wife. And then I said, Your Excellency, can you, Mr. President, prepare a transition? He got a pen. He said, what? Write the word. I said, transition. He said, oh, to prepare somebody to take over. Yes. I said, yes, because you have done so well, Your Excellency. But there are mamas. You see, you have lost your deputy, one of the vice presidents, Mujuru. Prepare a transition. He said, oh, yeah, we are looking at it. I am growing old, you know, but he was already old. I'm growing old, and we shall see. When are you coming to Zimbabwe? I said, there are many there who don't like me to appear there. Jonathan Moyo and the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ubebegwe. Because they work together, they don't want me to give you advice. I can only see you in Addis Ababa. No problem, but in Europe, I'm your man. And I'll always stand for you. He said, no, that one you have done very well. But I want you to come and I honor you. We want to honor you with one of our medals. And one of the University of Zimbabwe to give you a honor. I said, Mr. President, I will talk to Emerson Mnangagwa. Because Emerson was my point man who introduced me to the president. I did not know, it was known to me, that His Excellency was going to go back to Zimbabwe and call his wife and tell his wife that you start making a transition. Instead of telling other people to make a transition, the late president, my friend, told the wife, Mama, you make a transition. Mrs. Amai Mugabe, Grace, started making a transition. Started attacking Emerson Mnangagwa, the army, and other people. It started brewing in 2016. 2017, the problem arrived. So African leaders, learn when to go. Learn when the time is right. One of the things, the tenets of political science is timing. Time when you are needed, time when you are not needed. There are good things that Museveni has done for Uganda. There are a few things. For example, on the question of Uganda sending troops to Somalia, I give him a tick. That's kudos. We give a credit where it is due. But on the question of rights and the democracy of the people of Uganda, he has zero. There's no democratic space. If you talk, some small boy will come, excuse me, sir, can we go and you talk to us a bit? You know how they talk their language. By the way, can you come and we talk a bit here? There is something that you talked about, the Muse. Now, no, Muse, me in the United Kingdom here, I can call the Prime Minister stupid. That the Prime Minister's rubbish. Can you do that in Uganda? They will take you like more than lightning. So, what I'm trying to say is this. I am trying to advise the president that Your Excellency, President Museveni, don't allow Bob Wine to remain in custody or anywhere. Call these are all your people. You are nearly done now. Call them. Put an announcement that I want to meet all of you. Tell them I stole a bit of your vote, but give me some time to arrange to depart. Isn't it creamy? That's another way.
Yes, sir.
That's another way of trying to do dialogue. Let's do dialogue. Uganda is our place. But the more you lock Chagulani with his wife, some of us are beginning to say, since you have been fighting over some other matters before, are you also eyeing some other things? You know, we Ugandans don't tell the truth. We might be eyeing Karanja's nice tie when we really want Karimi's shirt. Bob Wine is displaying these pictures to the world, to Ugandans. We are seeing him without food in the house. However much the police spokesman can convince Ugandans, no Ugandan is going to believe the police spokesman that Bob Wine is receiving food. So leave him. Don't make the politics of martyrdom. Are you learning something new? Kirimi. Are you learning the politics of martyrdom? Kidi, martyrdom politics is very dangerous.
Yes, sir.
Of allowing a person to die for the cause is a dangerous type of politics.
True.
What President Museveni is doing right now is politics, allowing Chagulanyi, who has 166, you are punishing him. You are creating more enmity. So we want to end this topic by allowing the panel from Nairobi to make 1 minute presentation as we close down, and we call it Hallelujah, a day of Hallelujah, a day of. Kidi, can you do this side? Let's all do this side. No, this one. Yeah, this. That's our side. The struggle continues. But don't use violence. My fellow Ugandans, avoid violence. Don't burn anybody's property. Don't hate anyone because he's a Munyankole or a Muganda or a Northerner or what. No, we are all human. This vote was bound to be stolen. I've shown to you that there was no need of an election, and there is no need of an election in Uganda anyway. As long as you have President Museveni still there, let's just go the Vatican way, select the Pope, and have the smoke to show us which Pope has passed. Isn't it? When you see the smoke on top, yeah, the Pope ule, the ule, Kirimi is the Pope. Let's take Mr. Kirimi. There, you can't deny a man food. The man has no food, has no clothes, has no soap to wash his clothes. It's not very good. No, 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 no. Change the tactics. That's my appeal to the government of Republic of Uganda. I will begin with Javan, then come to Kidi, then come to the master peacemaker and the peace destroyer on Uganda policy, Mr. Kirin. So, Javan from Nanyuki, it is getting chilly here in London. I need to go out.
Thank you. Thank you, Doctor. And what I would like to say is to agree with your statements that the government of Museveni has reached it time to pack and go home, and to leave other people. And these dictators should know the time to live and the time to exist and to run the business. And he should not continue intimidating the opposition leader, Bobi Wine. Bobi Wine should be allowed to walk freely without any intimidation, without being coerced to behave in a manner that Museveni wants. Let the man be free. Let him continue opposing the government and pointing figures to where things need to be bettered, because that is the role of the opposition. The opposition, we define opposition as a government in waiting. Therefore, Bobi Wine as a government in waiting, he should be given a chance to exercise his mandate by pointing figures and behaving like the government in waiting and trying to work. And I invite even Museveni and Bobi Wine to go on the negotiating table, because that is where greatness is achieved. That is where prosperity is achieved, on the negotiating table. Let them go down there, sit down, talk, and discuss, iron out issues. Because at the end of the day, Uganda needs to be there. Violence will not pay. Going on the street and destroying property will not pay, but a dialogue will pay. bring all the peoples together. Let them have a dialogue. Let them shun the way out to the people of Uganda. We have seen it working in Kenya, and through the handshake between President Uhuru Kenyatta and the former Prime Minister, the opposition leader, Raila Amolo Odinga, when they shook hand, the country stabilized. The country come back to its normalcy because of that handshake and that dialogue that they had. And they came up with 9-point agenda to discuss and to point the way forward to the Republic of Kenya. That is the same way that the people of Uganda need to go. They prepare, if it means to go for a constitutional amendment, then it be. And because at the end of the day, the people of Uganda have a country to protect, they have a country to build, they have a country to call home, and that can only be achieved through a peaceful mechanism, not through violence, not through war. It's only through a peaceful mechanism, through a dialogue, negotiation, and inviting all the elders who have peace, who love peace, conflict resolutions like David Masanga, to go on the table and negotiate to shun the way forward, to open the way forward to the people of Uganda. If the northern war was brought to an end in the early 2000s, then even this one is possible through the right mechanism and talking and having a dialogue. And finally, the people of Uganda should continue with the struggle. This is not the end. This is just the beginning. They should also continue making their voice heard, because when we remain mum, when we remain silent, things go bad. When we don't talk, when we don't speak, when we don't point out things run away. Our challenges are solved when we speak, when we make our voice heard, when we shout, and we point out the dangers and the challenges of the country, because a problem shared is a problem solved. That is the way they should take. And the government of the day should create room for dialogue through Museveni and his administration, but they should not continue violating and suppressing the freedom of expression, the freedom of exercising one's constitutional and democratic right to vote the leaders of their choice. At the end of the day, they need to work to have an electoral commission that reflects the will of the people, to have an army that is there to protect the country, but not to protect an individual in the name of President Museveni of Uganda. They need to work on their issues. If Kenya things are going well, if Kenya things are possible to opposition to talk with the government, even in Uganda things can be done, things can be ironed out, because it is possible. Nothing is impossible when people come together and speak and chant the way they have a direction, and they point out the destination and the roadmap, framework, and the time frame that they need to go and where they want to go. Thank you, Dr. David Masanga.
Thank you very much, Karanja from Nanyuki. Thank you. That is our sign. We are. Let's come to our correspondent, Kidi Mwaka, all the way from lawyer Kidi Mwaka, an advocate of the High Court of Republic of Kenya, in Kenya, Nairobi. Bring it on.
Thank you, Daktari. This is an open letter to President Museveni. A democracy works on certain presuppositions. One of them is that there is a free press. Secondly is that there is a vibrant civil society. 3 is that there is free, regular, transparent, and verifiable elections. And 4, that there shall be a safeguard of human rights. All these things are lacking except regular elections, which are also not free, not fair, not verifiable. There is lack of human rights in the sense that even leaders are not safe in Uganda. And therefore, if a leader with over 3.5 million votes can be locked in the house like a dog, therefore tell us what is exactly happening to ordinary young people in the inner cities, in the slums, in the villages of Uganda who do not agree with you, President Museveni. Today, if you do not feel that Uganda deserves, the people of Uganda deserves to retain the right and the power to choose the power, the leadership that they want, to determine their own destiny, then you better declare Uganda a monarchy so that you do not dupe the world that Uganda is a democracy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Advocate. Kiddy. Thank you very much. Let's come to the destroyer man across Meru, in Meru. He has disappeared.
Technology.
These technologies,
I think Museveni's, there is Douglas.
Thank you, Dr. Masanga, and yes, Dr. Masanga, thank you. Mine is a thank you note to the President of the Republic of Kenya, President Uhuru Kenyatta. Thank you for building a modern Chaka market, an hypermarket for the people of Chaka in Kieni constituency in Nyeri County. The people of Nyeri are happy. The people of the mountain are happy. That is a modern market that has not been built by any president or any government, including the county government of Nyeri. They tried it in Karatina, but you even went there and helped them and funded the Nanyuki, the Karatina open air market, which is the biggest in East Africa, by the way, open air market. And we thank you. Thank you for your generosity and thank you for your leadership to the people of Mount Kenya and to my old man in Uganda, General Yoweri Museveni. Joe Biden is coming for you. Secretary of State, Mr. Bill Kenny is coming for you. Don't you worry, old man. Keep arresting Bobi Wine and keeping him in the house with his wife with no medication and no medical care and also food. But remember, the young constituency voters, the younger constituency of voters of Bobi Wine, the United States of America, the EU, everyone stands with those people except the people that you have been able to colonize and also corrupt at AU, led by Mohamed Faki at AU. But General Museveni, don't you worry, old man, Joe Biden is coming for you. He is 2 days in power, so don't you worry, he is coming for you. Thank you.
Oh, he's coming to take an African head of state?
Dr. Masanga, if you don't agree with me, is that...
No, I am not, no. I haven't said I've not agreed.
No, I'm saying for... It is said, it is in the US, they have said they are coming for Bobi so that he can no longer kill Amazonians, and also for General Museveni, he can no longer kill any Ugandan again because they are coming for you. Joe Biden is coming for you, General Museveni. Sam Kutesa, the US sanctions are coming for you.
Or they want to take a warrant of arrest for Sam Kutesa.
Yes.
I agree with you all the way, so I can't disagree with you at all. Viewers, thank you very much for having listened to us from 10 o'clock. We have done a very good 3 hours. It is now 80 minutes past 1. We shall return on Sunday. And Sunday, 2 p.m., there is a very good program that you need not to miss. Africa Showdown. Very interesting, relaxed after you have gone to church or you are prayed to God like I do from my house. I dedicate 30 minutes every Sunday to meet my Maker. God said, the Bible says, it doesn't matter where you pray from, but what matters is what you are praying, where you are praying, how you are praying. No, how you are praying, not where you are praying. So those who want to go to church, some of them want to go to show their new clothes. Some of them want to go and share. Some of them want to go to look at beautiful ladies. Some of them want to go and genuinely pray. There are several categories in the church. And a psychologist or sociologist will tell you that, hey, characters are characters. Some of them want to go and see the pastor's wife. You know, you have seen the problems of pastors in Uganda of late. As he's preaching, he's also eyeing something in the audience, which is natural. The one of Uganda, Mr. Kirimi, I think you saw it was very natural. You have seen the pictures, so you, even if it were you, especially Kirimi and the Kidi, these are some of the pictures that are very interesting. So thank you very much, all of you. Thank you from the headquarters in Nairobi. Thank you very much. Thank you, Karanja. Thank you, Kidi. Thank you, the radio Punchline Africa. You don't need wires. You don't need what? You only need to connect www.punchlineafricatv.com and go to the place live radio. It is there. Hear the voices of the other younger men. A big worker force that I have, efficient worker force that I have. And I thank Kirimi for joining the evening shows. I listened to them at times. I said, what the hell, man? Yes. I listen to them from London, wherever I am. I am very comfortable with I have got a legacy. I've brought younger men like you on this show, and we look forward to seeing Miriam on Sunday. She will be there. I will also be there on Sunday. I want to thank our sister satellite system that carries our message all over the whole world. Thank you very much, SBSC in Berlin. I thank you very much. We have struggled for the whole Africa. And unfortunately for today, we spoke about the East Africa and Africa in the Great region. I want to thank you, Professor Onyari. And I don't know whether my technical team is there. Can I see your faces? This is a Friday.
And also Dr. Masanga, Jevan has also joined the evening show.
Oh, I heard yesterday.
Yes.
But I was running to complete a paper. The technical team in Nairobi, can I see your faces, please? The technical team. Oh, thank you very much, technical team. Where is another one? Where are 7 of them? Where are you? I want to say hi. You know, as a parent, I just want to say hi. Hi. Another one. There are other ones just, thank you very much. Thank you very much, technical team in Nairobi. God bless you. And there is another one who is missing. Yes, thank you very much. The one for the IT guy. Where is he? Keep your masks on. Keep a distance and work. The office is big enough for you. Thank you very much, viewers. Thank you, all of you, wherever in Uganda. If there is anybody in Uganda when the internet returns, who can be our correspondent, you are welcome. And Mr. Juma Smith, don't be worried. Just open up and join us. Then you see how we shall roast you on this platform. We are not afraid of you. Don't hide behind the name. We want to see your face, Baba. I'm a Democrat, but for you to talk, I hate anybody who tells me not to talk about Africa. And then he wants a Mzungu, like a Mr. Juma Smith, to talk about Uganda or Kenya. All these countries are our countries. The refugees that are in my county, 27 Kikuyu people settled in my county. They are doing M-Pesa as a result of the 2007 violence in Kenya. So I have never chased them. They have bought land, they have settled there. Isn't it a miracle? They have families, it is expanding. So these smaller things of Uganda and all this, that is cheap politics of old age, stony-aged, fraudulent hustlers. I want to take this opportunity to thank President Uhuru Kenyatta for the achievements that you have made, for bringing up BBI, a redemption strategy. Remember my words, don't turn it into a process, a political process. Let it be a redemption strategy. You have millions and millions of people, you have won hearts on reconciliation of this country and leaving it a united country. Thank you very much. God bless you all. God bless you all. Hallelujah. Let's pray. Let's pray. Let's bow our heads. Oh God, thank you very much for giving us the strength to be able to speak since morning, to be able to say the words that guide the world, that guide the country in Africa and the whole world. We thank you that you pray for our nations. We thank you that you pray for the entire world. We thank you that you give courage to the people of Uganda. Thank you that you give guidance to the President of the Republic of Uganda to see light, to release his opponents, to give these opponents room of respect, because an election is not the end of a country. An election is just part of a process of a country. So let them have freedom, release them from unwanted detention, and give them freedom to do what is supposed to be in the Constitution without resorting to violence. We also pray that violence should not be taken as a means of resolving the issues that are before us. We pray all this in the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, my